Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Questions with Matt and Mark. So one of the big headlines this week, Matt, is that used car prices are falling for the first time in a long time. So
it is
2 cents on that.
So first of all, the data is that they dropped about 3.9% last month in March. And it's going to be interesting, viewers, that as supply gets better from new car production, it's going to start to impact these used car prices. In addition, we have interest rates going up. Just like with housing, the affordability of how much car you can afford if you take a loan, that starts to drop as well. So I'm not insinuating that this is going to keep dropping by 4% a month, but it is nice to see a reprieve because the used car prices make up such a big component of the consumer price index. Mm-hmm. And so as we start to see some prices come down that make up inflation in this index, it could be interesting.
Yeah, very.
So my question's along the same wavelength of inflation. Mm-hmm. Just in general, what's your thoughts right now? It's a hot topic in the markets.
Yeah, well, I think obviously we're seeing, maybe not peak chaos, but people are getting frustrated. I don't think that there's anything else in this world that people hate more than inflation, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I think we're kind of reaching that tipping point where people think it's so bad and it's not going to get any better, that I think we're on the final end of it. And we got to remember, too, in relation to the markets, inflation expectations, in my opinion, hurt markets more than the actual inflation that we're seeing right now.
Well put.
So there's a couple of things that we're looking at right now that's giving us a couple of signals. Like Matt just said, that inflation, the worst might be over. I'm not trying to make any calls on it, but over the next couple of weeks, I'll have some more data for you all about some of the things that are giving us a light at the end of the tunnel to this inflation problem that we have.
And I'd say this is a focus also in our weekly podcast. If you're not a regular listener or viewer, check out the Independent Advisors podcast. We're on all the major platforms you can think of: Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, YouTube. We're on all the major platforms. So definitely, if you have more interest, check that out.
Yeah.
All right, check us back next week for another episode of Questions with Matt and Mark. We will both see you then.